Welcome. This is our first ever teen book talk. So we were thinking about activities for you guys, for the teens to do over this summer, since our building is not open to the public. And one of the activities was teen book talk. So that I'd read a couple books, chat about it, post it on YouTube, and it could be one of your activities. Watch the video and let us know which book you like when you complete the activity. And here we are. So these are our 2 books for this week. We were going to do 3 books, but 3 books a week is a lot. So we went down to 2. Okay, so we're going to put this one over here. First, we're going to talk about this one. This is called Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. And this is a book. It's actually it's a novel in verse. So it's more like, not poetry, but it's not your typical prose. And this book is about 2 different girls, Camino and Yahaira. One of them lives in New York, one of them lives in the Dominican Republic, but they share the same father, and they don't know this until his plane crashes on the way to the Dominican Republic. So it basically, it goes back and forth between the girls and tells you about their lives and their feelings and what's happening and how they're dealing with the loss of their father, who was a very big presence in both of their lives. Even though for Camino, living in the Dominican Republic, she only saw him for a few months a year. I read this. It's a really good book. I'm not really a fan of the prose fiction or the verse fiction. I'm not into poetry. Sometimes it's hard for me to interpret, but since this type of verse is more of a storytelling verse, it's easier to understand, and you can grasp the same concepts this way as you can reading it. Plus, it doesn't take as long to read it, but it becomes more lyrical. It's just a bit more flowy, but it's a very good book. The girls give you a little bit away. The girls do at some point meet. They both have issues that's going on. And I do actually recommend reading this. I haven't actually read any other of Elizabeth Acevedo's books. She has 2 other books that you can read, so if you like this one, you can. And let's see. Yeah. They both have really great personalities. One of them has an aunt in her life instead of her mother. The other has a mother. So they have all these similarities, but they have all these differences about their experiences, especially because one lives in New York and has a little bit more money, and then one lives in the Dominican Republic, and her aunt rely a lot on her father's monetary contributions to live, have Wi-Fi, things like that. So it's nice. I recommend it. It's very good. And if you like this one, you can also try Elizabeth Acevedo's other books. And if you like audiobooks, if you listen to this in an audiobook form, it's really nice because the author reads one of the characters. I think she reads Yahaira, and then another woman reads Camino, which is nice. This is super exciting. And we might have a giveaway, so wait till the end of the video for that. So there is that one, Clap When You Land. And I don't want to give away what the title means because it's a really nice feeling you get when you realize what the Clap When You Land refers to when you get to the end of the book. So it's very nice. So there's that one. Okay, we'll put this one over here. I don't know if you can see it, but probably. So the other book, sorry, I got a sunburn, so really sunny, really warm. But the other book that I read, this one is called Stamped: Racism, Antiracism, and You. Oh my gosh. I cannot say enough about this book. I just can't. I can't say enough. Really, I just can't. So I thought during, these times of unrest and Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on, I thought it would be an appropriate time to read books that would call attention to or highlight what was happening. So if people want to get not educated, but if they want to do a little bit more research, this might be a good way for teens to do that. So this one is amazing. So let's see, what's his name? So Ibram X. Kendi, in I think 2016, wrote a book called Stamped from the Beginning. And it's like a 500-page book about the history of racism, like how Black people have been stamped physically. So, well, not usually physically, but although that probably did happen, but how they've been stamped from the beginning, and where it started and where it came from, and how they talked about it, and how it just occurred. And that has been touted as a well-known book. And then he also last year wrote another book about how to be anti-racist, how to be an anti-racist. And that one's also very popular at the moment, and also a very good book. But so he and, what is his name? Oh, Jason Reynolds, who is a very well-known Black young adult author. Ibram and him and the publishers, person passing by, got together and they decided to do a young readers or a young adult type sort of version of his book Stamped from the Beginning. So Jason Reynolds was given the task of taking that book, or the concept of that book, and sort of providing the same information, but in a bit more accessible way for teens. And oh my gosh, this just came out in, I think, March? Yes. So it's called a remix of his book, Stamped from the Beginning, because it's not the exact same thing, but it does contain the similar type of information. Oh my God. This book was really good too, but this one also was just amazing because it gave you everything. Like, if you're interested in how racism has developed since what did this book say, 1419, something like that they said, and you're a teen and you want to read something that's a bit more for you and a bit more readable, this is the book you want to read. It's not a history book, as Jason Reynolds says, but it does take you through like the first racist and different things that have occurred to Black people over the 300 or 400 years that has sort of created this racism and the concept. Like I said, it reads really well. It's not a history book. Things are very factual and laid out very well so that you can understand the concepts. There's also, 1415. Yeah. And it starts in 1415 and it kind of goes all the way through, not sort of 2016, probably a little bit before that. He doesn't really talk about what's happening exactly right now, but he sums it up very well. I read this book, and the first 20 pages, I learned so much more than I even knew about the topic. And it's just really great. And there's a really great list in the back. Also, if you have interest in reading other sources or any other fiction or nonfiction written by Black authors or about the topic of racism, or and there's something in here I wanted to read to you, which I thought was great. And then if you like this book, or you want something a bit more meaty, maybe you are a really great reader and you want some more detail, you can read the other one, the Stamped from the Beginning. You can also check out the Ibram X. Kendi's other book. Yes. And then also, if you like this one, Jason Reynolds is a prolific author, and he has quite a few books, and usually dealing with Black American teens and things that are happening to them. Some current, some take place, I think in the historical. That's the word I was looking for. But yes, I think we're going to be reading one of his other books, All American Boys, for our teen book talk next week. So, but the really great part about this book, again, there's so many good parts. This actually should be like required reading now that it's out for like 8th graders. I think that's an appropriate term. Because, they don't talk about like that. Talk like this in current books. Or I went to school in like the 90s, so. But they take the concept of racism and they break it down into like 3 different types of people. And it actually really helps you get a better sense of what the different types of, I can't even explain it, words to describe the people that they're going to be exploring in this book. Segregationists, assimilationists, and anti-racists. And it gives you a breakdown of what those topics mean or what those definitions mean. So as you read through the book, you'll understand when he's referring to different people as anti-racists or segregationists, and you'll understand what that means. But yeah, it's really good. It's not very long, super accessible for teens. Even me, like, I'm an adult, and I read this, and this was so easy to understand and read and like educate myself a little bit, which is also super important. So let's see, what was I going to do? So I actually have a copy of both of these books available for giveaway. So what we're going to do is watch this video. It's very exciting. Comment on the video, and then next week I'll look through the comments on our YouTube channel, and somebody will go home with a copy of this, and someone will go home with a copy of this. Okay, so I really appreciate you hanging out with me for a few minutes. I don't know how long this video has gone, but Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, very good. And then Stamped, Racism, Antiracism, and You. Also a very good primer for kind of just gives you a bit of enough information to like process things, and just sort of set the scene for your brain. Yeah? Okay, so there they are. That's very exciting. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you have signed up for our Teen Summer Virtual Activity Challenge, that's what it was. When you complete the activity of watching the video, that's what it is. Like, you can comment on this video, but you don't have to. But what I was going to do was, everybody who completed the activity for this week, like, so you watch this video, you go into your account and you click on that you've completed this activity. What I will do at the end of the week is I will compile a list of the people that have completed this activity and watched it, and then I'll use those names to choose the people who will win a copy of this. Okay? There it is. Almost forgot. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week. We're going to be reading, I can't remember, All American Boys by Jason Reynolds, and a new book by Janie Paxton. I think it's called something about medieval times. I can't remember. It's okay. We'll see you next week. Okay? Off I go. Ciao.